Barack had his own agenda. Why is it that he's doing the same stuff that Bush was doing? Like, for example, the war. Bush started the war. How come when he came in office, he didn't stop it?
Because his hands is tied.
His hands are tied, but he's doing exactly what the elite want him to do.
Because to a certain extent, some things he has to do. He has no choice. It's just like when they elect another mayor for Seattle. The previous mayor would have already laid stuff down that can't be changed. And if the new mayor try to change that, he'll
anything that he wants, it still has to be passed by Congress and the senators. It's not just all of them.
Though he got that power, he don't really have that power. Because the government that we live in is checks and balances. Like you said, he had to do a lot of things that Bush already put in place. That's how it goes. His agenda was different, but some things he could not, no matter with that power of presidency, he cannot override that.
Okay.
And do nothing.
So you think he was put in office because the people voted him in office?
I think he was put in the office because they wanted to make him a patsy. They wanted to make him like a flunky for what they want to really do.
But do you think he was voted in
the
office?
perfect one to do it?
Was he voted in office and won by a majority rule?
Yeah, he won, but I think that was by design too.
What are the odds of him being related to George Bush? Right? He's related to George Bush, and George Bush is related to John Kerry. They were cousins.
Really?
And they both graduated from Yale.
Barack Obama's related to George Bush?
Yep, and George Bush, what are the chances of him being president and his father being president? See?
How can George Bush be related to How is
because
that?
these guys, they share a bloodline. Because you're not gonna, the so-called white man is not gonna allow somebody, for example, there's no way in hell any of us are gonna be president. There's no way in hell any of us are gonna rise to the throne in Europe. They're not gonna allow that to happen. They only allow people of their so-called royal bloodline to make it into those positions of power. See? Now, these Africans, these so-called white people, these other nations of people got together to put us in slavery and to make us forget who we was. You can sympathize with these Hamites, because that's what they are. These Africans, they're descendants of Ham. There's these Hamites or these Edomites. We've been warring with these Hamites since Moses. These people had us in slavery when Moses freed them out of Egypt. These are the guys that had us in slavery. You see what I'm saying? These guys right here, the Romans, the Greeks, even now, they had us in slavery. This like, and persecuting us. We were running from these guys when we fled into Africa. You know, we was in Africa about 1,500 years. You know, hiding in Africa. See, these guys are enemies of us.
That's why Africans sold us. That's why, because I heard that white people didn't steal us, Africans sold us. So Africans sold us because we wasn't really African.
I mean, like the president, I'm like, man.
They sold us into slavery to the so-called white man, and the Arabs helped build the slave ships.
So let me ask you a question. If you really think that he's a descendant of Bush and all that, you didn't vote for him.
They do it like Bush.
I didn't vote at all because whether we vote or not, they're gonna put in office who they want to put in office. Because when in history has somebody?
I heard the votes don't count.
They don't. There's been instances of where there's been people's names on the ballot who've been dead for years. So how's that happen? See what I'm saying? And
I already know they crooked. Yeah, you're right. They do manipulate that.
And these guys right here are part of they're Illuminati members.
So basically,
it's all smoke and mirrors. It's all just for show.
So when it comes to politics, you would not vote. So who would you have voted for? John McCain?
I wouldn't have voted at all because
Mitt Romney?
if I had no idea about any of the stuff that I know, I probably would have voted for him. But it wouldn't have changed anything because, for example, George Bush, when he was going against Al Gore, he had the least amount of votes. He
ripped Al Gore. I know.
I remember that.
Yeah. Okay.
And then his second term.
I see what you're talking about.
His second term, nobody liked him, but he won again.
Yeah.
See? So it don't matter what you vote on. It don't matter who you vote for. You know?
That's a shocker right there, man.
Jewish people believe in Lilith.
You know, the Jewish people, they believe in Lilith. They also don't believe in Jesus Christ, who the world called Jesus Christ, and they also don't believe in the New Testament. Yeah. And I'm going to let you see what the Bible talks about them. I know the works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. Talking about spiritually rich, because we're the most spiritually rich people on the planet. That's how come everybody copies our culture that we created out of nothing, because our culture was taken away from us. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. See? So them guys over there that call themselves Israelis, not even Israelites, they're not the real Jews. Because the real Jews are dark-skinned, not pale. See? And then verse 3 and 9. Behold.
They control most of the world, though.
They do. They control Hollywood. And what comes out of Hollywood? A lot of homosexuality. And the Jews, so-called Jews, run Hollywood.
But what about Lilith?
See,
man, I never heard of no Lilith. I don't even know.
I know, because they lie to the people they don't want you to know. They want you to think we all daughters of Eve, some white woman. They don't want you to know about Lilith.
Well, we are. We're all descendants of Adam.
I'm not no daughter of Eve.
You can believe that if you want, but that's just pride speaking.
No.
Pride won't allow you to accept the truth.
I've done my own research, and from what I've learned is that God created male and female from dirt. And Lilith left Adam. Lilith left Adam, and he complained, and then God gave him a woman from his bone. Eve has the title woman because she came from man. Lilith is just female. She don't have the title woman.
It's not going to be
you can believe that if you want, man.
Well, I'm just saying, just go on the internet and look up the Dead Sea
I already know.
You heard about it? You heard about it
It's not
already?
the first time I heard it.
Well, I don't know.
Garbage.
I'm sorry. I'd rather believe that it was a woman, well, not a woman, a female created out of dirt as well with Adam, than just some white woman from his bone.
Look at it. There was
Your bone is white.
There was no white
Dirt is
people on the
brown.
planet. There was no white people on the planet when Adam
Yeah, until Eve.
Eve
She
was
came
not
from
white.
his bone.
Eve
Oh,
was not
yes, she
white.
was. What color is bone, bro? Your bone is white.
Okay, so that
That's it. Yeah.
The first dark female came from dirt, just like Adam. And in certain Bibles, it says male and female was created at the same time.
You don't even understand what that was talking about. When it's saying a woman was taken from his rib, it wasn't talking about God took one of his ribs and created a woman from it. That's parabolic. See? That's what, you know.
Well, what I read is that when God made Eve from his bone, Adam gave her the title woman because she came from man.
What does woman mean?
I don't know, because she came from man.
Female servant.
Okay.
You know? And then what's the root word in woman?
And do you know that that's why Lilith left Adam? Because she didn't want to serve him. Because she wanted to be on top of him. And he told her she only belonged on the bottom.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
The Dead Sea Scrolls. Some that they didn't put in the Bible. Some that they don't want nobody to know. They don't want you guys to know that. Nobody believes me though.
That's because it's bullshit.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering my question, bro. I see where you're coming from, right? It's just that I voted for Barack Obama, and I think he was the better president out of all the other people that was running.
They don't want to tell you.
The second time I voted for him too, and like that was a shocker to me to see him being portrayed as a devil, because I looked at him as more like the only decent voice out of all the other people. I wouldn't have voted for nobody but him. Because there's no way I was going with Mitt Romney, and I definitely won't go with no John McCain, and I don't trust Hillary Clinton.
Well, don't trust all them guys. Hillary Clinton's a lesbian. First of all, she like to have her.
I would never vote for her.
And this guy's a homosexual too. Trust me.
Yeah, he been in Frisco hella times. I believe
Hey,
it.
them dudes in the music industry are homosexuals, and they deal with women too.
But he got a, well, you know what?
You may have a family, but that's all for show, man.
He do go to San Francisco
You can't just let somebody just be like, just like flash something to you, and you be like, okay, he's legit. You actually gotta check this guy out. You know what I'm saying? Just like when somebody comes to, like, say you're, for example, a gang member, right? Somebody want to become a new member. You're not be like, okay, you come in, you cool. You gotta figure this dude out. He might be a cop. He might be this, might be that. You see what I'm saying? So this guy right here, he's a great talker. He's smooth with words. So he can know how to talk, but that don't mean that he's speaking the truth. And something crazy.
Yeah, I know for a fact he can't speak the truth. A lot of the things that he say is deception, for the simple fact he can't tell the American people the truth. There's a lot of things that he's learned since he's become president that he can never speak about. So he has to hide it. No president, even Jimmy Carter, he ain't been president since the 80s. But he cannot speak certain truths he can't tell.
And you know,
they never gonna tell you the complete truth, because if they do, they'll be killed faster than Clinton.
Yeah,
like
and that's part of that secret society stuff. But you know, when he was talking with when he was on a TV show with talk host talking to Denzel, when the audience or when the speaker the guy that runs the show asked him what they were talking about, and Denzel said, we were talking about owls, and people started laughing. They went over their head. He was talking about owls with Barack Obama. The owl represents Molech, which is idol, which is a demonic god people worship. See, them people in Hollywood, the presidents, they're all part of that secret society stuff on different levels. See, and then part of his healthcare plan is the mark of the beast. But this guy, he's for our people though, right? He's not even of our people. He's not for anybody but himself and the elites. Just like these policemen, all these people, allegiance is towards the elites. It's super rich. And
that's what they're here for.
So his wife, Michelle Obama, she's an Israelite?
She's an Israelite, but her children aren't. Because her children are from his seed. Because the man carries the seed.
Yeah.
See? That's how come when we want to get pregnant, they got to go to a sperm donor. But a man, if you want to have kids, you can have sex with any race of woman on the planet and still produce a so-called black child, right? It may not be skin color black, but the nationality is what determines what it is. So you have an Israelite child. But for example, if a woman was to have sex with any other race of man, that child would be whatever race that man is.
The man she laid down with.
See? That's how it works. And the Jews, the so-called Jews, say you are what your mother is. They're backwards.
They're backwards.
That's why so that's why if the Jews are advocating for something, is you don't want to. And another thing
I
is,
agree with you on that, because I'm not on that. You ain't get no argument from me on that as far as that's
true.
But I'm just shocked about the picture of the president. I don't know. Yeah, I know his mom is white and whatever like that, but I know one thing. When I went to vote, I couldn't see myself, if I was gonna cast a vote, I couldn't see myself picking nobody but him. Because I would have been scared to vote for John McCain or Mitt Romney or Hillary Clinton, any of them. I would have been scared. Out of all of them, even if he is, I know he got to be connected into the PS to a certain extent, even for them to let him get to be senator and even get to where he was in a position to get to the White House. He had to be rubbing elbows and in a side of a certain circle. Because you're right, the smartest and the hardest working black man out here that's really truthful, they would always stop him from getting to where he is. So it's all in the circles and the people that you know. So you're right on that.
And in the Yale.
But out of all of the ones that was coming up, then what they were saying, I had to weigh that stuff out, man. And at least he, whatever, maybe he was speaking with a forked tongue or whatever. But I can tell you this much right here. It sounded way much more like I should go with what he's saying than freaking Mitt Romney or John McCain. Because I know I would have been more up shit creek. I ain't got it all. So if you talking about all the poor people, it's systems in place to help them already. I'm not concerned about them. What? You're not concerned about them? And Obama's, at least he was saying something about, we need to help the middle class and the poor. At least he was saying, acknowledging that we exist and that we need help. At least he was saying that. The other ones were saying screw us.
That's what they do though. They'll give you two people to pick from who come from wealthy backgrounds, right? Because he was a senator for who's he a senator for?
Chicago.
Chicago.
But do you know what he did in Chicago though? He helped a lot of people on the streets.
That's to build his credibility up. So when he becomes president, he's y'all are all voting for him, but really he's gonna do things to benefit the rich. Because, like for example, they passed a law in New York saying it's against the law to get on a cop's nerve now. Now, out of all the laws they could have passed, why did they pass something like that?
Yeah, because a cop will arrest you now if you come out your mouth wrong to him, even if he ain't got nothing on you. If you come out your mouth too wrong, he'll roll you up for that. Now the judge may let you out the next day or so later, or whatever, but they'll arrest you now for that. I mean, they didn't need to pass that law.
Is this true? They say he got a fake birth certificate.
That's what Rush Limbaugh said. that he wasn't born in Hawaii, he wasn't born in Honolulu, that his father somehow, since he was connected from Kenya, his father got a fake birth certificate. He was actually born in Kenya, and he wanted him to be an American citizen, so his father did some behind the scenes paying off the people.
So where he was born, so he wasn't born in the United
That's
States?
what the white people saying. I'm not believing what the white people saying. As far as I'm concerned, he was born in Hawaii, which was a part of this country.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna believe what they say.
But they can't prove it though.
They can't prove it. But they wanted to say it. With that birth, the whole birthday thing, they was trying to say he wasn't born here. Because if he wasn't born here, then that's a way to undermine his whole presidency.
Because I heard they said
not be president if you're not of America.
I had heard that they said the CIA covered it up and gave him a fake birth certificate.
Well, I think he used to be with the CIA. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But part of his this new bill. Well, it's not new, but you know about Obamacare.
Yeah, it's gonna start next year.
Yeah, you know the mark of the beast is a part of that, right? You know, so like right here, Revelations 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, that mark, it will have your bank account information, your health care information, all that stuff on it.
Everything about it. That's what I was just saying to him.
That'll be what you use to buy things.
Yeah, but I know it's coming.
So it would be like what? Like an electronic system or something?
It's just gonna be that little chip, RFID chip they put in your hand. They even got one for your brain that they can put in your head. Yeah.
They just will be able to scan you and they'll know you from A to Z, from birth, almost from
I'm not even going to say what I think about the Bible.
I already know you don't believe.
No, I totally believe in God. But it's just that there's different kinds of Bible, and I hope that ain't the King James Version.
They got a Queen James Version.
I have a problem with the King James Version. To me, it's like it was written by the white people that you're talking about. And everything that's in there, we do it just because it's written. That's their whole plan, and they got you going by their plan.
First of all, if the Bible is written by white people, then why does the Bible talk about white people going into slavery and white people being destroyed? But white people wrote about their own destruction in their slavery.
They might have not wrote it, but a lot of them is the ones that translated it.
Now, what happened was
King
James.
They sat on a panel. They sat on a
mind control. Back when the Nazi scientists was trying to find ways of mind control, and they found a way by changing up shit in that Bible. That's why Dead Sea Scrolls and so many other books
when they transcribed it, but probably every last
Well, I'll answer your question. King James in the 1600s translated the Bible from the Greek, Hebrew, and Latin. He was a black man at the time. King James was a black man. That's how come they have so much negative shit to say about him. The King James was a homosexual and all this other stuff, because he translated the Bible from the original text into Old English. So it wasn't translated by just making translation, was meaning like they took the original language, they converted it to another language so people can understand it in that language.
It's about King James. It's been revised since then too.
Yeah, that's why I deal with the King James and not the NIV, the Queen James Bible, which is a homosexual Bible.
I want the oldest Bible I can get.
But it's kind of funny.
I want nothing revised.
Islam, they have.
Then if you don't want nothing revised, get the King James 1611 version, which is the original from the original text. But y'all won't read that, but you'll read the Dead Sea Scrolls. See? That don't make sense.
The Dead Sea Scrolls will be part of the Bible.
Don't deal with the Dead Sea Scrolls because
How you gonna tell him that?
Okay, like I'm saying, if you don't even understand this, then if you was to read some other things, it will confuse you.
Yeah.
See? That's how come you start with milk, then you go to meat. Just like a baby starts with milk, then when they get older, they get teeth, then they can eat meat.
Yeah.
See? This is Job 39,
They
39.
using that book to poison my people.
They're using this book to poison our people, but it looks like Hollywood is poisoning our people today, wearing skinny jeans and so on. I don't even need to go on that. Hollywood and the so-called white man is the one poisoning our people. But this is Job 39 and 17. Because God has deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted her understanding. See, that's how come the scriptures say women are supposed to be teachers.